Welcome back to the program. I'm talking to my good friend, Dr. Peterson Pierre. He is one of the top dermatologists in the city of Los Angeles, African-American, doing his thing out there. But more importantly, he cares about the community. And he also cares about what's happening with regard to all of these different situations that keep cropping up. And it shows the lack of trust that is now cemented between Blacks and police officers. The latest case, of course, happening in Texas with Jonathan Price trying to peacefully disrupt a domestic dispute, gets shot by a police officer, and he's dead. Doc, it's good of you to join us. I wish it was on a better circumstance, but brothers are talking about this, and we've got to. What are your concerns when you see things like this happen?
Well, Kelly, thanks again for having me on the show. And let me start by extending my deepest sympathies to the Price family. This is a very unfortunate situation. And in addition, it's a very familiar and all too frequent situation that we find ourselves in. I look at this, and Black Lives Matter is not a movement. It's a statement of fact. We're talking about Black lives, Black human beings having the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These were not rights given to us by our government or any other human being. These were rights given to us by our Creator. But how are we supposed to pursue happiness when the life that's required is being snuffed out by those who have sworn to protect it? This is a problem. This is a human rights issue. Unfortunately, zoned in on our race. But honestly, what other race in our nation is having this conversation about their own people? When individuals tell me there's no more racism in America, we have far too many examples to the contrary, and this needs to change. The time for talking is over. Action is all that matters.
And the action that you're looking for is police reform, and having some reform in the sense that police officers will become more sensitive to what their role really is and to stop killing us.
Well, think about this. If Blacks make up 13% of the US population, it's a very small percentage. We cannot exact this change alone. So I think the change starts in our communities amongst all individual American citizens. Now, there are a lot of people who are moral, who look at things that are wrong and don't participate in them. And that's fine. We need people of character, folks who will step up, point out things that are wrong, and actually speak up against that. When you have morality plus character, you have integrity. It's not enough to not be racist. You must be actively anti-racist. You must step up. You must speak out against the injustice that's happening to Blacks in this country and force the hand of our legal system to simply uphold justice for all its citizens.
Absolutely right. Now, you have children. When your children go out, what are your concerns for them? And like most Black men and women in America who are parents, we always have the talk because we want to see our children come home alive.
Absolutely. And, I wonder, are there any other races in America having this talk with their kids? This is not even a concept in their minds, let alone something that they're going to act on. So for a very long time, ever since I got married and I had kids, I never leave home without hugging my wife and my kids, kissing them and telling them that I love them. Because I understand the reality of this life is that may be the last time I see them. I may not come home or one of them may not come home. So when my kids first started to drive, and as I was teaching them, we had to have the talk. Look, this is the situation. You're Black, you're marked. I know it's unfair. I know it's unjust, but we need to deal with the reality. If you ever get pulled over by the police, and I always tell them, do not do anything to attract attention to you. Don't speed. Don't do the things you know you might get pulled over for. But if that situation arises, remain calm, hands on the steering wheel at all times. Be pleasant to the police officer, even though that's the exact opposite sentiment you may be feeling at that moment. Follow all instructions. Ask the police officer if you may move to reach in for your driver's license, for your registration. Reserve the anger, the frustration, the rage until the police officer leaves. Because the most important thing I need you to do is to come home.
Absolutely. Dr. Peterson Pierre, appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, Kelly. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
My pleasure. We'll be back with more after this.